Welcome back. Last time in Dragons of Ice Spire Peak, you all had managed to make your way back to Fandalin and engage into a few shenanigans revolving around some gnomes and sending letters. After which, you all arrived back at Stonehill Inn. So, how would you all like to proceed?
Uh, you two probably find Lionel sitting at a table with a bunch of gnomes around him and they're just talking.
Eh, the gnomes are pretty skittish.
Lionel's doing most of the talking.
I assume that I basically, as the conclusion of last week's everything wrap up, I essentially am concluded with my sending the letter and reporting the dead body and dealing with all that stuff, more or less at this point.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right, then. Yeah, we stroll in to see Lionel with some gnomes, and I will kind of raise an eyebrow over it and be like, new friends, I see.
Lionel,
Mhm.
the female gnome, or I should say one of the two female gnomes
Mhm.
that is with you, there's a troop of three, one
Okay.
male and two females.
Mhm.
The leader of which, I guess the voice is, her name is Joybell, you've learned.
Okay.
And she leans forward over a tankard the size of her torso and pseudo whispers to you. She's trying to keep things between you two.
Mhm.
Are your associates going to be arriving today, Mr. Lionel?
They should be arriving at some point, and I'll take a look around and peek my head up, and do I spot them relatively easily?
Small inn, so yes.
Yeah. Ah, there they are right now, and I'll wave both of them over.
I will chaperone Thorn over to the table.
I is tell me your orientation with Thorn.
Well, I mean, when we were out and about in the streets, as far as I recall, Thorn was holding my hand like a lost child. So, so I assume upon entering the tavern, maybe that's still the case. So,
Wow. The gnomes bristle at the sight of Thorn. Um, the male, uh, who Lionel, you know, is Dimble,
Mm-hmm.
has thus far in your conversations maintained a silent air of grumpiness.
Mm-hmm.
Speaks with a bit of a gruff tone as he spots Thorn. You keep company with kobolds? No, sir. No, sir. I think we're okay. We do not need your help.
Okay, fine. Go back to Nomengard then without assistance at all, because you saw how much Harbin Wester was going to give you, and I'm offering that we might be able to help, and just because she's a Kabul doesn't mean that she is not trustworthy or helpful. I mean, what are you gonna do if I tell you I'm not a human? You gonna freak the fuck out, little man?
You don't know a damn thing about gnomes and kobolds. You, at this point, the third gnome of the troop puts a hand on Dimple's shoulder. You know her as Banana, like banana, but the B's upside down.
Okay.
Banana!
She seems to have an iron grip for some reason. And she says, Dimble, keep your pipe shut. We need these people. At which point, Joy Bell looks back at you and says, please just disregard Dimble. He's quick to anger.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure I'd be quick to anger too, given you are all looking for help, but all's the same. Hopefully, he can keep his sharp tongue in check when he's asking.
Joy Bell visibly bites her lip, and Panana slugs Dimble in the gut to keep him quiet.
I simply laugh and nod. But for introductions ourselves, I'm Lionel, as you know. That's Reginald, as I point to him. And the smaller one is Thorn.
I think for Thorn, there was a mutual, like, Spider-Man meme thing going on where, like, they see her in bristle and, like, she sees them in bristles. And, like, I think she kind of puts herself a little bit behind Reginald and is just, like, peering out from around him. And while she's not making any noise, I think Reginald can probably feel that she is doing what the equivalent of growling would be. But she will follow Reginald over as well. So she's still just like keeping herself where she can keep an eye on these gnomes, but not be directly in front of them.
Mhm.
So hiding behind the two taller ones. Got it.
Using the human shields, so to speak.
Yeah. I has a wall. You have to come get me behind it.
She's just dragging the dog behind her.
The dog's big enough for you to ride. Dimble and Panana, though, politely excuse themselves, leaving Joy Bell alone with you. Well, I apologize, but kobolds and rock gnomes have a long hatred. So, no offense, obviously. We are in need of some assistance if you all are still willing to help us.
Thorn thinks the people in this town don't know the difference between kobolds and lizard folk.
I'm just gonna look down at her, look back up to Reginald, look back down at her, and just be like,
Well, yes, clearly, I can understand the friction between you and others. But I was curious, what exactly is this help that you need?
Joybell looks left and right and over her shoulder to make sure nobody else is within earshot before leaning to like the center of your table as much as she can and saying, uh, our kings are, well, some weird things are going on at Nomengard, and our king seems to have lost his mind. We could really use some help trying to figure things out. Two gnomes have actually gone missing in recent weeks. So I don't really know more than that, but I'd really like for you all to come with me back to Nomengard and speak to our head inventors.
Well, I mean, I suppose could entertain such assistance, maybe.
The gnome leaps up in her chair and puts her hands on the table and says, "Excellent. Do you all know where Nomengard is?"
You're probably going to have to tell us. We're all not from around here.
Oh no. What the fuck just happened? She jumps off her seat and rummages through one of the giant sacks on the ground next to her that were the backpacks of the troop and whips out a piece of parchment that's scrolled up in a map case and slaps it on the table. And you recognize it as a uh, local area map. It includes Fandalin and the Tribord Trail, and off to the east, Nomengard, with a few paths leading to a stream, which will eventually turn into a little bit of a river, kind of a small one, which leads straight down into Nomengard. And she like fingers the map at Fandalin and says, "Okay, you all know where you are, right? We're here."
Yeah.
And she trails her finger over to Nomengard and says, "All you have to do is travel east till you hit the stream, and then go south. Just follow the stream till you get to the waterfall. That's Nomengard. You can't miss it. But don't tell everybody."
Okay. Seems simple enough. Lionel is very confused by the fact of don't tell everybody. It's like, you're a town. Don't you want people coming to visit? But he doesn't say anything.
Seemingly pleased with your answer to assist her, she rolls up the map, puts it back in its tube, and thrusts it back into her knapsack. "Well, since you all know where you're going, I'm going to head home. I will
Yes.
attempt." I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Very well then. I should we expect anyone else, or have they all left now?
How do you mean? Is anyone else coming here?
Well, yes. I mean, there was quite obviously a bit of a disagreement, let's say, earlier, and now some have stormed off. Are they also returning home, or will they be returning back to the tavern?
I don't know, and I have to go figure that out.
Ah. All right. Well, we will likely be on our way soon.
Sorry, he got a phone call.
I can see
It's okay.
the camera doesn't lie.
Unless he's really good about it.
He's probably in his mind just being like, "You fuckers."
Why are you interrupting my time? Not supposed to be on the clock.
I'm so sorry.
It's all
Fine.
good.
I've lost my train of thought. You were talking about uh, the gnomes. They left
Right.
and Joybell was
Right.
said that she had to go after them, and you said
And
something
figure it
after
out.
that, and I apologize.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. My comment was like essentially to the point of, well, we'll be along on our way shortly then.
Phenomenal. I can't wait to see you there. I'm going to try to muster a greeting and get our kings to come visit or see you. And with that, she grabs all 3 packs, which is a serious chore for her, and drags them outside. And you all are left to your own devices.
Well, charming. Where did you happen to find that lot?
When I was getting our payment for the last job that we did, and I will put the small-ish sack of coins down since I haven't opened it yet, and I figure we might as well just open it now and then we can divvy it up easily.
Thorn is sitting at the table, still squinting at the door. Just like she watched every move of that gnome leave and just is still watching.
You don't need to stare at Thorn, they're gone. He'll be
Mm.
fine.
Thorn
They're not
doesn't
gonna
trust
do
small
anything.
people.
You're a small person. Are you saying you don't trust yourself?
Thorn is not a person. Thorn is a lizard folk.
Thorn is a humanoid and a person. And that is the reason I told the gnomes to fuck off when they decided to be assholes about you.
She like takes one of the tankards that was left behind and just like takes a drink out of it. And just watching the door. Thorn needs to go shopping before we go to Gnome Place.
Oh, that's part of it. As I open up the sack of coins. How much did we get? Because I don't remember if I got a price.
There are 50 gold coins inside of the sack.
Okay. So
The gems we got from the ruins were worth how much?
There were 10 gold pieces a piece.
yeah, so
And there were
70.
7 in there, so 70 gold. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So in total, we'll each be able to add 40 gold.
Well, we have to sell the gems first.
Yeah, if we can
But-
sell the gems for the full price. But Lionel will take 15 of the gold coins and be like, here, you guys can divide the rest. And it should be an even for you two. You should actually make out more.
I think the way that Reginald will kind of distribute between himself and Thorn is he will essentially give mostly all of it to Thorn and keep like 1 coin.
Yeah.
Thorn won't complain.
I'll just raise my eyebrow at Reginald and be like, wow. Family really does have deep pockets, doesn't it?
Well, yes, I'm not in this for the money. It's great to, be rewarded for your work. However, that's not at all why I'm here, so.
How much gold am I taking?
35, because I only took 15.
34. Reginald kept 1.
Oh, that's right, 34. Sorry.
You son of a bitch stealing my coin. Keep my eye on you.
Probably should. Let's be honest here.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind if we're going to be a problem child. 2 problem children to deal with.
I got my alchemy.
But one will
Go ahead.
actually hold your hand.
Fair. Okay. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but we'll.
Yeah, I can
Go
go
with
off
that.
on my own and do things. Just remember that. I can be off on my own.
Well, as you guys are divvying up your spoils, I forgot his name.
Oh, Toblin, if that's what you're referring to in the
Yes,
innkeep.
Toblin. walks up. Well, if it isn't my freebies, how are we doing today?
Made some money, so, doing better.
Phenomenal. Now that you have some coin to spend, I'd like to offer you some food and drink.
How much?
Depends on how much you want, good sir. Also, room and board.
We had that for free.
His smile kind of dies a little bit. Like, damn.
Thorn tilts her head at him and is like genuinely confused for a minute, and she's just kind of like, "Why would Thorn pay for meal? Thorn can just go in basement."
Ha ha! I have upgraded my locks, little one.
Metal locks won't keep rats out.
The fuck up. Promptly turns around and fucks off.
God damn!
Thorn just sits there and like genuinely looks confused. Like she was just like, it's true.
I just look at Reginald and I just muttered him. I thought I was the jackass by stating we got free rooms. Fuck.
Thorn is jackass.
In his mind,
That's what-
unfortunately, yes.
That's what this one thinks.
Well, the hour is late. You all have board but no food. Shortly, you assume that the town shops will be closing. So you can either choose to go about your shopping list or you can go to bed.
Honestly, we can probably shop in the morning, I would think. Unless you have some dying urge to get something now, Thorn.
No. Thorn can wait till morning. And she, Thorn scrabbles off of her chair and takes the dog with her, and she goes to find Toblin.
Toblin is behind the counter, just scrubbing it clean, otherwise tallying things. He does not take note of your presence.
I think Thorn digs down into her bag and pulls out a couple coins from her bag. Thorn is not a jackass! And puts the coins on the table or on the bar. Thorn would like food and room.
Toblin turns around and leans over the counter at you. And he says, still a jackass, but what do you want to eat? And he scoops up your coin.
Me.
Well, got plenty of that. You want a roast? You want a steak? You want... What do you want? What are you in the mood for? I got chicken. You ever had chicken?
I don't know if Thorn has ever had chicken. I would assume so. But Thorn is not from here.
Lizard folk don't domesticate.
That's true. Thorn doesn't know what chicken is. We'll eat chicken. And Thorn would have put enough money down for room and meals for her and her new company.
Aw.
Thorn's not a jackass.
Mark off 6 gold. Well, Toblin walks to the back and, a few minutes go by. You hear the fire crackling. Comes back out. He's got a big fat breast and a big old mean thigh. Some kind of sauce on top of it. Slides the plate in front of you. Did you pay for food for them as well?
Yes.
He walks over to Reginald and slides the more of the same in front of you all.
Why are we
Says,
getting food?
what?
I ask him, why are we getting food? We haven't paid.
Your gremlin paid for you, as well as for your rooms, so eat up, fellas.
Thorn is just at the bar, just like loudly crack crunching on any of the bones that are in the chicken.
A few stray rib bones still in the breast, it's fine.
I look over, it's like, come on, let's go join her. She paid for our food.
Well, yes, I suppose.
Don't give me that look.
Fine.
Be courteous, god damn it.
That was me being courteous.
We'll go over, and as I sit down, I'll take out 2 gold coins and push them towards Thorn and just say thank you.
Don't want.
Too bad you're getting.
Alms for someone, yeah.
I think Thorn genuinely doesn't want his coin, but she'll take out the little busted up wooden box and put it on the bar and take the coins and like individually put them into the little coin slot. Can't resist shaking it for a minute just to hear all the coins clink, and then puts it back away.
And then Lionel will proceed to dig in.
Well, as you all are eating, nothing special happens this go around. Toblin makes light small talk with you, asking about your adventure into, well, wherever it was you went. But as you guys finish your meal, for some reason the inn is pretty dead tonight. There's not a whole lot of visitors. It's pretty much you and 2 other people in the room and Toblin. That's about it.
Well, I'm gonna head up to my room. We have to get up at least earlier tomorrow if we're gonna make any kind of headway on the road with light.
Very well, yes. I don't think I'll be down here much longer either. I've a lot to note from today's excitement.
Thorn smacks her lips loudly and toddles up to her room. Thorn, sleep.
Well, your rooms while you were away are fresh, clean, fresh linens, fresh everything. Reginald, as you go up to your room, however, your window is suspiciously open.
Well, Reginald will obviously note that it's open, but not exactly think that there's any real cause for concern and think, maybe they left it open when they were cleaning earlier or whatever the case may be. And he'll just kind of stride over to it like there's nothing of concern and shut it.
There is a small cord on the outside of the windowsill with 2 sharp fangs tied together, painted with a tar black to shine in the night. That's all.
Okay, well, he will obviously catch eye of it and open the window a little bit more to grab onto this cord and kind of figure out what it is and whether or not it's tied to something on the other end.
It is not. It is just tied to itself. It's like a little bracelet, if you will. Just two fangs, painted the color of night.
Well, he will bring it in and then shut the window and pointedly think about it and see if anything crosses his mind that you can think of what this may represent or be. Um,
Roll me an
So-
intelligence check.
smarts, wicked smarts.
Uh, you know that there's a small subsect of your order actually that doesn't actually get much talked about. It's relatively new, but they call themselves the Knight's Fangs, and you know that this is one of their symbols.
Well, Reginald will obviously hold on to it then and kind of put it in his pocket, but will kind of think to himself, what would the Night Fangs be doing here?
Yeah, you don't know.
To be answered.
Well, you all take your long rest then.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that long rest button. Store your
Okey-dokey.
spell slots, your max HP. If you haven't leveled up to level 2 already, please do that. And welcome to the new day.
Yeah.
Whee!
Thorn is up bright and early, already downstairs with Meat Dog. I think the two of them are just being a pest to poor Torben, and just like crawling. Toblin? Why do I keep calling him Torblin?
Torben's the
dwarf. Oh, okay, whatever. Just generally being menaces and like going under the tables and looking out the windows, like peering at people going by.
So, actually expecting you this time, Toblin is already downstairs with eggs, bacon, some potatoes. I don't know if kobolds eat potatoes. Sorry, lizard folk eat potatoes, but and a wide array of fruits and veggies actually this morning. He's made something called an omelet. Um, but the sound and smell of him cooking actually arouses most of you before your normal time. Whether or not you come down, it's entirely up to you. But I'll say that you're all awake relatively close to the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Meat Dog is totally uncontrollable by tiny little Thorn and is behind the counter uh, at Toblin's heels, begging for the scraps. So that's how your morning's starting thus far.
Oh, look, you made a friend, Toblin. How good for you.
Buddy, if you didn't know, everybody in this town is my friend. I have the booze.
Very true. Very true.
Speaking of which, can I get you a drink?
Ugh. No, not alcohol this early. God, no. Even I have standards.
You're in Fandalin, bud. Nobody has standards here.
Ugh. Fair.
Yes, so I've noted.
I'll just have some breakfast, whatever you're making, please, because it smells great.
Well, he whips up some breakfast for you, throws an omelet in front of you, and Reginald, you get the same treatment that you got last time with a little bit more of a elegant breakfast, already paid for, and maybe even some fresh squeezed orange juice.
Ooh, aren't you fancy? How much do I owe him?
Bougie.
He doesn't actually collect coin for this meal. He considers it as paid for as last night's meal.
Fair enough.
So, we are fed and ready to begin the day. What is the first order of business?
Shopping.
Well, you just don't know where to begin. I
What are you looking?
assume that you all are going to be speaking about your tasks, so Toblin will sort of guide you all in the right direction, pointing you to Barthen's Provisions,
Mm-hmm.
which is in the northern part of town. I will go ahead and I'll see that ping on the map.
Yup.
That's where y'all are gonna be headed.
Okay.
Uno momento.
Mhm.
Make sure I read everything right before I start talking out my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes ass talk is the best talk.
Slow and sensual or fast and furious?
Ooh la la.
Well, if it's general provisions that y'all are looking for, you're gonna want to hit up Barthen's Provisions. Normally, it stocks the things that the adventuring type, such as yourselves, would need. You know, backpacks, bedrolls, rope, rations. I wouldn't go there if you're looking for arms or armor, but you can start there. If you're looking for healing, though, such as potions or uh, anything of that like, you should probably visit Adabric Wind over at Umbrage Hill. And I guess last but not least, there's the Lion Shield Coster. It's a merchant company, but they'll sell your arms and armor over there.
Thorn needs little shooty pew pew. And she just like is like vehemently uh using her hand like a little like a little crossbow.
You mean a crossbow? Like this, and I'll just hold mine out so she can see it.
Yes, but Thorn is small. Thorn needs small.
Well, we should probably head there first then. It'll be nice to see arms and armor again, and see if those are actually up to quality.
Well,
Reginald will follow along because he doesn't really need that kind of stuff, but at the same time, like, you know, he'll follow, he'll play along, he'll continue.
Play along.
Thorn's plan as a whole is to go sell off the gems that we got, divide the money up between all of us again, and then she wants to go and find a hand crossbow with some bolts, and she also wants to maybe pick up a potion or two just to have just in case.
okay. Well, in order, then, if you wanted to do it in that order, you'd probably want to hit either Barthen's or the Lion Shield Coster to sell off those gems. Probably the Coster because it's going to have more. It's a merchant's guild and it's not a local, store, so likely to have more gold around. Coster is also going to be what sells your weapons. As for potions, you'd have to leave town to go get potions.
Yeah, we'd have to head to Umbrage Hill, which I think is in
Mm.
the opposite direction of where we need to go.
Yep.
Well, that's fine.
So to the Coster then.
Yep.
Oh goody! As you approach the Coster, hanging above the front door of this modest trading post is a sign shaped like a wooden shield with a blue lion painted on it. You all enter the Coster, and it's one of the nicer looking buildings in Fandalen. The wood looks relatively new and holds up the building.
Hmm.
It's a relatively recent addition, bringing plenty of business along with it. As you enter, a woman greets you. She introduces herself as Lenny. She kind of looks you all up and down though as you come in, and you can tell she's gauging you on whether or not she should sell you weapons or arms. But after a few minutes go by, she agrees, I guess, with herself, to allow you all to buy.
Well, that's good.
Sorry, I'm looking up the price for a. Or trying to rather.
A small hand shooty boom boom.
Hand crossbows are 75, according to D&D Beyond, are 75 gold points. Gold pieces.
Is a hand crossbow different than a light crossbow?
Yes. A hand
Yes.
crossbow is a single-handed weapon, whereas a light crossbow is still a two-hander.
Yep.
Very well. Are you going? She has one in stock. Are you going to purchase it?
Yes.
Please deduct 75 gold pieces from your total.
Are we selling the gems here, I take it? Oh,
You
excuse
can
me.
definitely ask her.
Um, sure. I will ask her as Thorn is looking over which hand crossbow to pick out. Lenny, we have some gems we would like to sell that could be of some worth. So maybe not your armory division of the merchants, but maybe the artisans, jewelers, goldsmiths.
Uncut jams.
I wanted to say it this whole time, but I want to behave myself.
But what if they're cut gems?
They're uncut gems.
Lenine immediately gives you her full attention at the mention of the gems and says, "We are a merchants guild. Of course, we're interested in gems. However, I would like to see the quality of them, and I will derive a price or an offer from that."
Sounds good. I will go ahead and take them out from one of our backpacks and put them on a table for her that she directs us to, because I imagine she's going to want one with good light, and then we'll let her appraise from there and see what she offers.
She appraises them and These are of dwarven make, I can tell that much. However, they're rather old and the cutting methods are not up to date. How about 6 gold for 6 gold apiece?
What if I told you that they came from a more significant dwarven ruin, perhaps, that's been being excavated?
We had some investments over in the dwarven excavation. Well, that won't change the price because where they came from doesn't matter. It's where they are right now and what you're willing to take for them.
Uh,
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion.
uh, at least I don't have a negative in it.
Um, she does kind of roll back and forth in her head though, and she's like, I guess technically we haven't paid for them yet. How about this? 8 gold pieces apiece.
I think that'd probably be fair. Do either of you have an objection to that?
Thorn is not even at the counter with you guys. She is like being a menace to herself and like doing dodge rolls with her new little shooty pew pew and just like parkouring off of her shield. Like she's not here.
Well, seeing these gems, I think 8 could maybe be passable. However, I would say maybe 9.5 at best. That's what I would sell them for.
Roll a persuasion. I know.
I'm not made for this. I'm made for other things.
Made for other things. Okay.
Listen, I don't have charisma like you do.
All right, I need you guys to know my rolls thus far. I rolled 5 threes and my first 4 for the night.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
Here we go.
Lenine looks up at you. You can see a hint of recognition in her eyes. She says, do I disagree with a Fortno and ruin business? No. She says, if you'll take 9.5 for them a piece, then that is what I will give you.
Sounds good to me.
What is that 9.5 times 7?
It is 66.5, so 66 gold and 5 silver. 50. No, 5.
50.
No, it's 5.
No, it's 5 because of the 10 conversion.
Yeah. I forgot it was 10. I was thinking in copper.
Right on. Here. Jesus.
She carefully takes the gems and puts each one in its own little leather pouch. Takes them to the back and comes back with a pouch of gold that she dumps on the table in front of you and recounts for your benefit. And you can add 66.5 gold pieces to the party loot, divided how you see fit.
Okay.
Reginald will take 5 as his retainer and operating expense for that transaction.
So it's down to 61.
Fucking Lionel making out like a bandit.
I know.
Never mind.
Lionel will take 30 of that and leave the 31.25 for Thorn.
Why is it 2.5? You keeping the other half?
No, I'm not keeping the silver. I'm
I
just
didn't.
taking gold.
Yeah, I didn't. So then give the
0.5.
5 to Thorn.
Oh,
for
right,
someone.
Arms for
my brain.
Somalia.
Maths.
My brain.
Maths.
I was doing that
how much
as if
silver
you
am I?
had taken the silver. 5 silver. And
31 gold.
31, yeah.
5 silver.
Thorn takes the the gold that's offered her, puts it in her bag, puts the silver into the thing, shakes it up, and continues to just be a menace. Whoever decided it was a good idea to leave this kobold child by herself in a warehouse with a new hand crossbow, probably not a good idea.
No. I might pick up some new armor here, but need to double
Ooh.
check what I can afford real quickly.
Do they have anything like of note? Like, is there like looking around? Does Thorn see anything that would like catch her eye or be interesting?
Roll me a perception check. There is a suit of armor that is behind a counter, being displayed rather proudly. It's probably too big for Thorn. It is definitely medium-sized, full-plate armor, but it bears an interesting insignia on it. Has a very nice color to it, I guess I'll say. It seems to almost be a little bit pearlescent with a very, very nice, I want to call it seashore motifs on it, like seashells and waves all over it in a dull gold filigree. But
Thorn pauses her shenanigans enough that I think that her companions would see her kind of like staring at it for a little while. And she just goes, "That armor's really shiny."
Yes, it is quite shiny for now.
Is it actually of good make, D, or is this just a showpiece?
oh boy, let's see. What kind of bonuses should I give you? Because your passive perception is not great.
No,
man.
it's dog shit. It's dog shit. That's why I'm asking more as
Will
a
you,
Smith.
looking at it, I'm gonna give you an investigation check.
Okay.
You can't perceive shit.
I can't. Let's be honest here. I can't. And I
And you
can't
can't
investigate.
shit either.
No, I can't. I rolled a 2.
Oh,
It's
you
too
had
far
a
away.
+5 to that.
I know.
To the best of your knowledge, Colt, this is a functional piece. I'm gonna say because you are an artificer and you know the inner workings of armor, The pearlescent color comes from the way the bronze of the actual full plate, because it is definitely not iron or steel. It is
Mhm.
straight bronze, you
Mhm.
believe. Um, but the oil, and you've done this for your finer pieces that you've made underneath the tutelage of your mentors. Uh, the oil that was used on it after it's been made, is what gives it that pearlescent sheen. And you
Mhm.
suspect that due to the motif, because you recognize that motif from working in Neverwinter, that it's probably sailor full plate.
Lenny, am I right in guessing that's sailor full plate?
Uh, Lenine walks over with a cloth that has some of that same oil on it and gives it another wipe down from the non-existent dust that's on it. Uh, yes, this is one of my finest pieces. I'm trying to sell it, but it's just so hard to let go of the past.
I mean, to be fair, you're gonna have a hard time selling that piece if it's as good a quality as it seems to be, especially here.
Ah, this armor has saved my life more times than I can care to count. I think I just like looking at it.
I don't blame you. It's a fine work of art.
Yes, the filigree was actually a new metal they were inventing with. So I don't actually remember what it was called, but it's not actually gold that's in there.
Oh, interesting. What color is it initially then? Because it looks just like gold.
Well, it kind of burns white hot when you need it to do something, but I guess for the most part it just stays that dull gold unless you need it to do something.
I think Lionel will kind of perk up at that and be like, were you able to purchase that filigree from someone, or did you have to like make it yourself?
That is a little bit of a secret there, sir. So we'll leave it at that.
Fair. I get it. I understand. All Smiths have their secrets, don't we?
Oh, I'm no Smith, but the person that well, let's leave it at that.
Fair enough. Thank you for satiating my curiosity. And I think with that, Lionel will start to head out, deciding in his mind that this place at least does sell quality goods, so he can go back to it at some point for arms and armor. But he's gonna head outside and think on what she said and see if it reminisces with what he remembers before he ended up in Fandalen. And then when the others come out to join him, he'll start to head to Barthen's provisions since he has some stuff to pick up there that he can actually afford.
Well, uh, you suspect it's
Okay.
the same, or something similar, but on to Barthen's. Let's pull up Barthen's. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So your party is now traveling to the northern side of town. Go ahead.
Hmm.
Oops, nope, don't move that. I'm on the wrong fucking tab. This is on the wrong tab. Son of a bitch. You make your way up to the northern part of town into I don't know, not beat up, but and not really run down, but worn building. Like you could tell this is probably one of the first buildings that was built here. And it's actually situated in the ruins of its old self. You can see charred bits of remains and a little bit of broken stonework. That probably happened the first time the orc invasion came through oh so long ago. But you go inside and are immediately uh, greeted with the sight of shelves lined with goods for sale and a counter at the back of the shop that seems empty.
Hello.
Is there a bell?
Oh no. It's back, John. It's back.
I love how you're both traumatized by this.
We just know what's about to happen. That's all.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna go with Lionel's hello since he said that first.
Bullet dodged.
For now.
For now.
You say hello, and a short little man, pretty young, rounds the corner from one of the shelves. Hello, welcome to Barthen's. How can I help you?
I am looking for a couple of things. Quickly, John, does Reginald just have a bedroll, or does he actually have like a tent that he uses for himself out of curiosity when we're on the road?
Well, I mean, with his road kit that he's got currently, I would say like most of it was kind of like provided for him upon the leaving for this journey. And I think purposefully the kit would have been less comforting in that regard, simply because it's kind of like the hardship being forced upon him. So
Mhm.
he would just have kind of like a bedroll and nothing
Okay.
crazy beyond that.
I personally could use a bedroll, a metallic flask of some type, or actually, rather, um, yeah, a flask of some type, and then, oh, I probably actually need some rope. Oh no, rope I don't need. I do need a bedroll though, and a flask.
No problem, sir. We've got plenty of that. Would you like a bedroll for a light bedroll or a heavy bedroll or canvas? We have quite the selection.
I'll take a heavy bedroll.
Yes, sir. Just fair warning, we are a little bit south and it gets humid around here, so a heavy bedroll, if you don't uh, ventilate appropriately, you will wake up drenched in your own juices.
Fair point. Let's go with the light one then.
Uh,
Lionel is suddenly like stewing in own juices. No.
the young man turns on his heel and uh, not sprints, but takes off down the aisle, and in less than a minute comes back with a light bedroll in a light, nice blue, almost baby blue color, uh, and a um, leather flask for you.
Oh, thank you. These will do nicely. How much do I owe you?
I do not know how much those cost, and I don't even want to look it up.
I can do it. Give me 2 seconds.
Adventuring gear.
Bedroll is 1 gold. Uh, a flask or tankard is 2 copper. Uh, yep. So 1 gold and 2 copper.
We'll
So
call it
expensive.
even at 1 gold.
Sounds good.
And he kind of leans forward and he says, "The flasks are sealed with tar, so they kind of taste like ass."
Oh, that's okay. I don't necessarily need it to taste well. And I will take it, and when I do, I will kind of look it over, and I will spend a few seconds, and then I will use one of my infusions.
Oh no, here comes the mayonnaise.
This fucker in his alchemy jug.
Yep. And I will go ahead and me just do this. Let me just add these to my inventory. And I will then use it to become an alchemy jug. So it won't really change too much. The color might slightly change to it, but that's it. And then I will put it on and I'll put my bedroll in my backpack.
Mayonnaise jar, oil jar, acid jar.
Yep, I can have it be a multitude of things.
All for 2 copper that you didn't have to pay.
Yep.
Thorn will peer over the counter at this young man. But barman said you wouldn't have potions, but what is it called? Small box with salve, bandage, splint. She was looking for a healer's kit.
Hold on. Damn. The man is taken back by your appearance at first, and you almost see a shock of fear go across his face. But then he looks at the giant Lionel man and the not giant elven man who wears clothes made of silk, and was just like, "It's a day." A healer's kit. I think we have one of those. He spins on his heel, dashes behind the counter and into the back, and you hear some rummaging.
2 gallons of mayonnaise. I just saw that. 2 gallons of mayonnaise.
Yeah, or 2 gallons of vinegar, or 12 gallons of salt water,
Fucking hell.
or a quart of oil.
After a few minutes, you hear a crash and an elderly voice go, "Ander? Ander, are you all right?" "I'm okay, Mr. Barthen, sir." And Ander walks out looking a little bit disheveled and plops a wooden suitcase on the counter. And he's like, "So this is what we have." And he opens it up, and it's got all the essentials for a healer's kit inside of it. All in all, I think this will probably run you about 2 gold, though. Is that okay? It's kind of patchwork.
Is okay. And she will put down her 2 gold.
Takes the 2 gold and pockets it and says, "Well, can I get you, gentlemen? I'm sorry, I don't know what to call you. Can I get you all anything else?"
Thorn is Thorn.
Thorn.
Her, if you're really that concerned, I think. But Thorn is probably better if you're confused.
Okay. Thorn and friends. Can I get you anything else?
Well, I mean, friend may be a little overstating it at this particular point in time, but I understand where you're going with that. Yes, as far as my requirements, I was looking to see if you may have some ink. I may be starting to run a little low. I take quite a bit of notes.
Yeah, but it's not cheap. Then he kind of looks you over and he says, "But I don't think that'll be a problem for somebody like you."
Yes, yes, it should not be. And if there is any particular issue with funds, I can issue a writ of payment, and that will be taken care of.
A writ of payment? An elderly man comes out from behind the counter. Now, we don't take bills of credit here. Uh, I'm sure he's good for it, Mr. Barthen, sir. I'll go get it. How many did you want, sir?
I will require it's 2 vials at this point.
20 gold.
20 gold. Oh, yes, well, of course. And he will pay the 20 gold.
Barthen looks you up and down while Anders runs to the back and gets your 2 vials of ink. You hear a whoops and a thud and a roll of the ink cartridge or file as he drops it. It doesn't shatter or crack or anything, but he comes back out and he says, here you go, sir. Barthen's very painstakingly counting the gold that you placed on the counter. He's trying to hold up his spectacles with one hand and grabbing a piece, making sure it's real, then setting it down. And says, Anders looks up at him and says, Mr. Barthen, would you like me to? No, we don't take bills of credit here. I got to make sure it's right. But Mr. Barthen, sir, Anders, I'm sorry, sir.
Well, that is all right. It's not that much of a problem for me at all. I have what I need. You have your payment. I believe I am finished with my commerce.
Very well, sir. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck out there.
Yes,
Thanks
yes, you
kindly.
as well.
Very well. We are done at Barthen.
Yep. If that's everything for you two, I think I'm ready to head out.
I am properly kitted. We can leave whenever.
Thorn is sulking because she thought that she was friends with Reginald.
Oof.
You guys did hold hands, just saying.
Betrayal.
I'll be right back.
We shared meals together. We held hands through the town, and we're not even friends.
Reginald is just, awkward. A little bit socially awkward. So
Friendship is hard for him.
It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. I still have the skunk man and the meat dog. It's fine.
that's true.
I am not a skunk. Let's get that right, please. You say that around my... And he pauses for a second. My parents, my mother will tear you apart.
She can try.
She will succeed. As Lionel just looks at her and thinks for a moment back to his upbringing from his mother and father, he's like, she'll win.
All right. Are we on our way then?
Yep.
We're on our way.
Yep.
I can also do a gallon of honey, John, or a gallon of wine if that's more to your style.
That may be more to Reginald's style. Yeah. I don't know that 2 gallons of vinegar is going to really bring him home,
Oh, no. That stuff is for when, an NPC annoys me, or we need it for a certain situation, like setting something on fire.
All right. Can you all see the world map?
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. I would like to make a few notes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, this is where you all are at. Fandalen's already labeled.
Yep.
Umbridge Hollow. Can you all see that circle?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is where Umbridge Hollow is. Now, Nomengard is. Where the fuck's my map? Son of a bitch. La di da di da. La di da di da. Nomengard is up here, or down here. So, depending on the path you take, you could theoretically hit Umbridge Hollow and then go to.
That's how direct we would like to go through the hills.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to go to Umbridge Hollow. I've picked up the healer's kit, so if someone desperately needs to be stabilized, we can do so. However, we do not have any potions, so take that as you will. And Thorn is as far as I know, the only person in the party who can heal.
I can help out with that as well.
Oh, that's right. You have cure wounds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then we should be fine. We don't have to stop at Umbridge Hollow. We can just go straight to Nomengard. Because we might even have somebody in Nomengard who sells potions too. So
Yeah.
Always a consideration. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking. I said we just go straight to Nomengard because that'll give us the best course of action. And besides, we might need to go somewhere else from Nomengard.
Okie dokie.
Well, I take it you're taking the most direct route there then?
Through the hills?
Yeah,
I think so.
it's probably for the best.
he's very happy about these 3 rolls he just made, by the way, which means terrible things for us.
Probably an encounter.
Good.
All right, so you guys leave out of the southern gate of Fandalen and start making your way around the hills and possibly through them. Uh, when? Guess about 5 miles, 6 miles along your route. Not very long at all, and Nomengard is only about 20 miles away. You all hear a distant, thunderous roar. It seems to, like thunder, roll throughout the local area, but you can source it coming from the west, the high road.
It sounds like some shit.
Yes, I'm glad that we didn't take the road.
Agreed. Let's
Need it.
continue on. There's plenty of mileage between us and there.
Every one of you feel your pulse quicken and feel a tinge of fear. But on you go, maybe with a bit of quickened steps. But you don't get very far
Shit.
before your dog takes off in a easterly direction up a hill.
Nate Dog, no! Don't do it!
Should have put that thing on some fucking rope and just made a leash.
It's actually staring back at you as if it wants you to follow it.
Thorn, is is going after Meat Dog. Meat
Let's go
Dog
make
is
sure.
smart.
Let's go make sure she doesn't get in trouble.
Thorn is
Very
trouble.
well. Very well.
What'd you say?
Said Thorn is trouble.
Yes, I know, but if she finds bigger trouble, that's a problem.
Well, Meat Dog, as you so lovingly call him, leads you up to the top of the hill, actually, uh, and starts sniffing around. You can tell he's on to something, and as you all manage to approach him, he's digging a little bit and seems to have found a nest of some sort. He'd Thorn, since you took off first and probably arrived there first, please roll me a perception check. Uh, it seems like it's just maybe just a mound of raised dirt on top of a mound of raised dirt.
If he's digging, Thorn will immediately start helping him dig. She's just like all fours in the ground, just like he is, like just shoveling dirt.
While you're shoveling, whatever's in this nest screes out at you, bolts past you, and it's a blur. It moves so quick. But as it leaves, and you go to shield your face instinctively, Meat Dog nips at it, but it just can't quite grab it. You hear the clink of what sounds like coins inside of the den.
I will look inside of the den to see what's actually in there.
Pseudo grisly sight kind of greets you. There's a half-eaten hand. Uh, its ring and pinky fingers completely missing, uh, along with half of its thumb. But it's gripping tightly a now torn bag of coins that shine in the light.
I will pick up the hand and position it in a way so that like the bag is still like cupped within whatever's left of the palm, and I turn around with it and I hold it out to Reginald. Thorn and Meat Dog found this.
Oh, a bag of money in a severed and partially decomposed and eaten hand.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, yes, yes, just be sure to wash up after that.
Inside the bag are 11 gold coins.
Okay. I'll add that to my inventory. Do I see anything in the den that would give me any kind of hint or clue as to what was in here eating this thing? Because obviously it's long gone by now.
Some black feathers, that's about it.
Okay. Thorn will leave the hand, take the coin, and just kind of like gently collapse the rest of the den and just cover the hand back up a little bit.
Gross.
At least I reburied it. At least I didn't just leave a hand in the floor.
I mean, I don't see why you didn't, but that's okay.
Well, 11 gold coins richer, you continue on to Nomengard. Why is it not pulling? Black screen?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Alright, uno momento while I remember how to get you all back on here.
Okie dokie.
I will be right back.
He's not going to be right back.
He gonna poop.
Or he's going to do the circuit of getting water, going to the bathroom, going back to the kitchen, coming back to his computer, forgetting the water, going back to the kitchen, getting the water, coming back to his computer. And one of these days, I expect him to come back and sit down and then be like, I'm back, and you son of a bitch. How did you know everything I just did? Oh, I see things again.
We will wait for the nugget to return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry about that.
Welcome back. Can you
Thank
see?
you. Yes, I can.
Phenomenal. Well, you all eventually come across a stream and follow it uphill to the base of a mountain, where waterfall erosion has carved out a natural concavity. The roaring waterfall creates a cloud of mist as it plunges into a shallow pool of water, within which rise two small islands covered with 2-foot tall red, green, and purple mushrooms. Several cave openings overlook the pool from rocky ledges 20 to 30 feet above. The mountain blocks any sunlight from reaching this place. Welcome to Nomengard.
Well,
For you, off to the east, across that stream, you see a small path right here.
mm-hmm.
There are no gnomes to be seen, though.
Interesting.
Yes, a bit strange that there's no reception. Um, but I believe maybe that is the way in.
Well, let's go see if we can fit in. As Lionel looks at the small path, and is it like an actual path, or is it like a cave we have to go into?
It is an actual path that leads up to one of the caves.
Okay. So yeah, we will start to head there, and Lionel will
Cross the water.
Yeah, start to cross the water.
As you're traveling down south towards the waterfall, you can see a rope bridge connecting one cave to another in front of the waterfall there.
Hmm.
So that's what that is, if you were curious.
Okay.
But you all ascend the little path untested. Before you opens up into two directions. You can continue heading east or north.
Well, I'm just gonna head north, I think.
Can I look around this area and just see if there's any like footprints or anything that's been disturbed recently? Because like I know that the gnomes have come back somewhat recently and maybe they've taken this path.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Yeah, you see some relatively, I wouldn't call them super fresh, but within the last 24 hours, you can tell this place has been disturbed. Um, this path in particular is almost a little bit muddy, and you don't think it's just from the mist. You think that this path is frequently used to come out, and there's even a small trail carved from the bottom into the water, where it looks like it heads in the direction of those two little islands. Lionel, you make your way up north into that location. It appears to be a, a dining room. There's several tables and chairs, all sized for relatively small people.
Okay. Is there anything on the dining table at all, or no?
There isn't currently.
Okay.
A far on the far wall, the far eastern wall, there's a cabinet that holds um, most of the dishware and utensils. It looks like.
Okay. Well, it's just a dining room, and there's not anything suspicious about anything on the table since there is nothing. Lionel will kind of continue to move up and move here.
Okay. From your north, you can hear a little bit of commotion, maybe some voices, maybe some ongoings. From the east, the path just looks like it curves back southward.
Okay. Um, I mean, if I hear what I think are voices in the north, then I'll head up there because we need to find someone. And if I then see a door in front of me, I will then open it if I can, and I'm just gonna try and open it.
Yep. Door is unlocked, and inside there is a quick hush as a startled group of gnomes, three of which you actually recognize, look at you. You immediately recognize this room as a kitchen. It is furnished with gnomes in mind, however, so everything is a little bit smaller than you are used to.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize Joy Bell uh, on the. She is the furthest female dwarf away from you. She is currently in front of a fireplace using a poker to uh, work the coals in the fireplace to heat up the stove above it. Or rather, she was before you invited yourself into the kitchen. You see Dimple there. He's using a press like contraption to squeeze one of those giant red mushrooms. Looks like he's getting some kind of oil out of it. Banana, but with a P, is using a rolling pin contraption to knead bread dough. That's probably why she looked so strong. You have Another male dwarf who you don't recognize is taking that dough and forming loaves of green bread. Um, and then you have another one, another female who is uh, standing on a stool over a barrel, stuffing a giant purple mushroom down into the barrel. All of that activity has stopped though, as they kind of like maintain their postures, staring at you wide-eyed, maybe a bit fearful. Before Joy Bell recognizes you and drops down her poker and says, "You came. You actually came."
Well, yeah, we did say we'd come here.
Well, we are excited to have you here. We would really, really appreciate it if you could talk to Fibblestib or Dabbledob over in the workshop. The, they have more of an idea of what's actually going on because the kings talk to them more than us.
Okay. And is that down by the rope bridge thing?
Yep. You'll have to cross the rope bridge and then be careful of the spinning arms there. They're there for protection. And, you know, right past those spinning arms there, though, you'll encounter our workshop. And that's usually where you can find Dabbledob or Fibblestib.
Okay. I need to write these.
Yes, please.
Fibble, Stib, and Dabbledop. Dabbledob. Fibble, Stib. Okay. I got one right. Thank you.
We'd love to show you around, but kind of in the middle of preparing our next meals from the mushrooms.
No, that's fine. We just came here and no one was actually outside and we didn't really hear anything, so we kind of just started wandering around.
I feel like I should tell you that our king thinks it's something to do with a shapeshifter. So don't trust your friends.
As soon as she says shapeshifter, Lionel grows a little bit antsy and doesn't say anything. And is just like, right, okay. We'll keep that in mind.
Lionel
then-
grows antsy or Colt grows antsy?
Both! Both! Lionel's just like, shapeshifter. I'm kind of that, but I'm not going to say anything.
Having concluded her explanation and eager to get back to her work, she resumes poking coals.
Mhm. I leave them all to their work and head down and spot Reginald and say, we need to head across the rope bridge to their workshop where a Fibble, Stib, and Dabbledob will have more information for us.
Yeah. Well, very well. Did you happen to catch the directions we need to take to get there? We are in some caves, after all.
I imagine just go south and try and
Oh,
get to the
okay.
rope bridge.
Well, very well. We will try it your way. Let's see where we wind up.
Thorn, it looks like you're heading east.
Yep.
You come across a room.
A room.
Ominous.
Parked in this room, in the alcoves, north and south, are two gnomish contraptions. Each resembles a crab with a barrel for a shell, 6 articulated metal legs, and a pair of forward-facing pincer claws. A hatch on the top of each barrel opens to reveal an interior compartment equipped with a small leather-padded seat, surrounded by levers, pedals, and gears.
Weird chairs.
probably don't want to sit in them. You will probably anger someone.
Don't want to sit in the wheelchair anyway.
I will have to ask them about that, though.
Oh,
This is
goody,
so
Thorn.
fun.
What's your AC?
18.
A bolt comes whizzing at you from the south and embeds it into the wall right next to you. And you hear a mechanical
Thorn just brings up her shield and goes, under attack!
to the south. You can actually see this right here. There is a contraption of some sort with a raised seat, and in that seat is a deranged looking female dwarf. She doesn't say anything as she just slowly turns some gears, which are turning the several crossbows underneath of her to reload and face you and fire another bolt.
Can I quickly use my reaction for that to dip down into this corner?
Sure. She does not fire, though. Can you all roll for initiative?
God.
Look at you, Reginald.
Yes. Look at me.
I am the star.
Ooh, Colt, we were close.
I know. I have a sneaking suspicion that I rolled better on the dice. Yep. Most definitely had to roll a lot better.
Well, Reginald, what would you like to do?
Well, knowing now at this moment only that there was the shouting of Thorn basically telling us that we were under attack, and darting off down the tunnel, he's going to kind of approach the corner and peek around from the side to see kind of what's going on down the hall. And then he sees the target ahead. Is he able to kind of sense that the individual, whoever's piloting that thing, is either in control of their own mind or not, or is it just unable to determine?
Roll me an insight check.
No.
You get the general sense that everybody here in Nomengard is afraid of something. That fear thus far, you feel, is what is causing the gnomes in the kitchen to lock and or close and well, they locked it behind you after you left, but to close the door to stick together. But this gnome is alone, and maybe not right in the head. It's about all you can tell.
All right. Well, in classical Reginald style, then he will go ahead and launch a firebolt at this contraption and or person as he makes his advance to duck into the hallway, head to the right behind Thorn.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna make it though. I'm just counting his movement. Yeah, what's it, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to get past Thorn unless he would be in the hallway basically right next to Thorn.
Don't stand on Thorn.
So he will be in the hallway standing next to Thorn, but he will still perform his firebolt attack.
We're not friends. You're not allowed to stand over Thorn.
You're doing fire bolt, right?
Firebolt, correct. Yes.
You should
Not
not have.
fireball. I don't have
I was
fireball
gonna
yet.
say he should not have fireball yet. If he does, we might be in trouble.
Oh God,
Well.
it begins. Guys, please don't. I have to go to sleep with him tonight.
So you launch your firebolt down the way, and it smashes into the crossbow that is currently aimed at you, and just splinters it. The frame of it snaps in half on the left side, causing it to launch that part of the arm, which rips the rest of it off of the contraption holding it and flings it into the wall off to the right. So that's that. Does that complete your turn?
That completes Reginald's turn.
Phenomenal. Let's see. Thorn.
Thorn will shimmy past Reginald, and she's going to use her rapier to slash at the undersides of the crossbows to try to either break something on him or knock him off or something.
Roll an attack. Are you using Booming Blade?
I am not using Booming Blade. I don't know why it rolled that.
Very
Yeah,
well.
I think because you have it as an option available in your sheet, it auto rolls it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How you set up the macro or something.
Yeah.
You slash against the underside, aiming for, I assume, one of the strips of cord to attempt to disarm this particular crossbow, and you catch it, but it doesn't. Your rapier is not designed for slashing attacks. It's designed to pierce, so it kind of glides alongside of it and bounces off of it. You've done some damage to the contraption itself, but it is still very much functional. Does that complete your turn?
Yep.
Final.
I think with all this fighting going on, Lyle's gonna step out here as a 5-foot step, and he's gonna see what's going on, and I guess maybe try and reason with this person first, because we're not really here to cause problems. And I'll just say, "Whoa, Joybell sent us to come down here to find Fibblestib and Dabbledob to help with your situation. You don't have to shoot at us. You could just say, go the other way. Really don't want to break anything, or you."
You get some faint mutterings and some incohesive, non-cohesive sentences
Mm-hmm.
that amount to absolutely no information
Nothing.
at all given back to you.
Okay.
This
Go
gnome,
ahead.
you can tell, is deranged.
Okay. With that in mind, is me trying to reason with her take up my action?
We'll call it your bonus action.
Okay. In that case, then I will aim for the contraption, and I will use my cantrip Frostbite and it needs to make a Constitution saving throw, and I'm basically trying to start to go for gears and movable pieces, kind of freeze them in place, if you will. And that's kind of like what I'm trying to quote unquote do with my damage with it.
So it's a contraption, right? It doesn't have a constitution.
Okay. And it can't
I understand what you're trying to do, and I'll allow it because I want to see if it even works. But instead of me having to roll against you, what I'm going to
Okay.
have you do is, because it's a pinpoint spell at this point, I want you to roll an attack.
Okay. What do you want me to use with that attack for?
Roll your d20, and you should have a spell modifier, correct?
Yeah, I do have a spell attack. Yep.
You'd use your spell attack.
Okay.
Oh god, that was a mistake. You have a +5. Fuck you.
13.
So your distance and being behind Reginald puts you a little bit at a disadvantage for what you're trying to do. 25 feet looking at something, I mean, anybody with 20/20 vision can see that it's obviously a heavy crossbow, but to see the finer mechanisms of it and try to do that, like
It's harder.
pinpoint something, it's a little bit more difficult. So instead of pinpointing something, you coat the whole thing in frost.
Yeah.
Which
Sorry.
potentially works. What would have been the damage for that?
So the damage would have been 5. 5 cold.
So the leftmost, we'll say this one. Actually, we'll go with rightmost since that's the one that Thorn attacked. The rightmost crossbow, which hasn't been rotated towards anybody at this point, its cord, its string, freezes almost completely, and due to the impact that Thorn had already dealt it, it snaps,
Nice.
disabling that particular crossbow.
Okay, good. With that, I will use what movement I have left. 5, 15, and I will move here for 20.
Very well. Does that
That will be
complete
my
your turn?
turn. That it does.
Phenomenal. This gnome flicks on some switches and pedals viciously on the machine, and the rearmost crossbow cycles forward to face Thorn at point blank range.
No, no.
Thorn's AC is an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Oh, come on. Thorn takes 1 point of damage.
Yay.
Stew it.
The deranged gnome cackles derangedly. Reginald.
All right, so Reginald will. How is he going to play this? I think what he's going to do. I think he's going to advance into the room around the opposite side from Thorn to try to see if he can maybe get behind it to split its attention. So he's going to advance in and then kind of come around like that.
Very well.
Let's see. From there, I think his next point of action is going to be kind of like a not really like a super impactful or aggressive attack with the quarterstaff, but more of like a taunting, like slap on the back of it to like get the attention of the person to be like, over here, you dumbass. So that's what he's gonna do. Is that considered flanking as well because of throwing on the upside, or is it not because of the contraption component of it?
You are flanking now, and oh, what's a good instigation skill? Deception?
Well,
Deception.
usually it's like intimidation is usually like the one that people use the most for that kind of thing. I'm not really directly trying to intimidate them. I'm kind of basically just like trying to
Trying to goad them.
goad
Okay.
them, right?
Yeah. Okay. Roll your attack and
Okay.
roll me a intimidation check.
All right. So there's
Oh,
that, and
Jesus.
then intimidation. No, not intimidating whatsoever.
Are you hitting with one-handed or two?
With the quarter staff, it's with two hands.
So I take the 6, not the 8.
It would be versatile. Yeah, it would be the 6. Yep.
Uh, where you slap happens to kind of crack the entire frame of this machine. It's not very well built. Um, and it buckles a little bit, and the crossbow that is directly behind her uh, sort of falls to the ground a little bit. It's like it's aiming almost straight down. Um, Not much more, and you can tell this machine's gonna break. But in response to your goad or fail of a goad, this gnome turns turns and looks at you over from her little perch, and he goes, "Fiddle barf," and sends a loogie your way.
How unbecoming.
Is that your turn?
That is Reginald's turn.
Disgusting.
Thorn.
Torn.
Thorn would like to scrabble. Okay, so looking at this contraption, is this gnome like protected inside of something, or is it just like sitting on top of this thing? Like, is there like a cage surrounding this thing, or is it just like a gobwalker?
Think of a crow's nest on one of them old timey ships. How it's got the boards and it looks like a giant bucket for a person,
Okay.
but with a seat inside of it and some buttons and levers.
Okay.
And it's probably about, we'll just for posterity's sake, we'll say 10 feet in the air.
Okay. Thorn wants to scrabble up this thing and climb up it to get to her hands on this gnome.
I need an athletics check.
Ugh, that sucks. I was like a proficient in that.
You grab the pole, and mind you, it's big enough to. It's not quite as thick of as like a tree trunk. Like it look like think of a power pole. Um, it's sturdy. Like it's probably the most sturdy bit on this fucking contraption. But you go to scrabble up it, and uh, your claws, because of the mist in the cave and the moisture, it'll just kind of like you cat claw it and just drag yourself down, basically.
All right. Well, I guess was that considered my movement? Or would that be considered my action?
I'm going to go ahead and say that's movement.
Okay. Then I'm going to. What can I do? I guess I'll just do another stab at something, either one of the crossbows or. Does this thing have legs?
No, it is mounted by that one sturdy pole, and it
Okay.
just has gears that turn the crossbows.
Okay, yeah, then I'll swipe at one of the crossbows again.
There is only one crossbow left. Make your attack.
Man, thank God for that flanking advantage.
You're welcome.
So, maybe a little bit frustratedly, on your way down, you kind of smack this last crossbow, and it just kind of you hit the front of it, and it just flips forward. The ropes kind of snapping off of it and yeets off into the distance. Um, as that happens, the gnome inside the seat says, "Oh, fiddle bits," and kind of like leans back in the chair, letting go of all of the controls, and like looks over at all of you and is like, "Myth Mac to the back at ya," and waves you on, like shoo shoo.
What in the bumblefuck was that?
Thorn is still incensed. She is just like, I want to get my hands on this fucking gnome. And I think she tries to like scrabble up it again, but kind of has like the same effect where it's just too humid in here and she's just like frustratedly like clawing at the bottom of this bucket.
This gnome blows a raspberry at you.
Oh my god. It's like the night on the parapet from Monty Python.
But you are no longer in combat.
Okay.
See, Thorn said not to trust small people.
Well, this one's obviously clearly cuckoo cocoa for bananas.
Thorn doesn't know what that means.
Means she's crazy as fuck.
I will I would point out that you are also small yourself.
No, Thorn is not small. Thorn is growing.
Yes.
How old are
Yes.
you, Thorn?
You see Thorn like count on her fingers. Thorn is 7.
I just look at Reginald and I feel like I'm thinking, don't lizard folk normally start growing before then? And I look to him for confirmation. It's like, we're gonna have to eventually lay a hard line on this.
Player to player, it's actually the other way around. Lizard folk mature a lot slower than kobolds do.
Ah, gotcha.
Well, how would you like to proceed? You can exit the way you came in, if you head west, Lionel. Or Reginald, if you would like to head south, you may.
I think at least I will kind of enter the room to be a little bit of a quote unquote safety net in case Thorn makes one last ditch attempt to try and scrabble up the pole and get after the gnome.
Oh, she does.
Lionel will kind of like either put his arm halfway up the pole so it like stops her immediately, or just kind of put his arm in front of her and just look at her and be like, no. We're not here to cause more problems, we're here to solve them.
Thorn didn't shoot first.
Yes, I know, that was very good of Thorn. But this little person is obviously crazy. Let's just leave them alone to be crazy.
More raspberries.
Just ignore them.
Thorn does that thing where she kind of like turns it, like, you know how the dogs finish pooping? They do that thing with their back feet.
Yeah.
She does that at the gnome, and then she'll begrudgingly follow behind Reginald.
I think Lionel will just follow after her, just not comment and just shake his head.
Reginald, before you, opens up a small path that leads out to one of the many outcroppings that you saw around the little lake out there, as
Mhm.
well as a path that leads down south. Looks like it heads south and then immediately heads right.
So Reginald will probably kind of like come out to look and peer out the side here and be like, okay, here we are. Still a ways to go though. We're not quite to the bridge. And then we'll kind of admire the mushroom view and nod his head maybe a couple times and then continue back in the direction to head south.
Okay. I will head south and pop right here for this T intersection while Reginald is admiring the view.
So, off to your east, you see a room with some possible casks in them, and south, you see another room that has a male and a female dwarf that haven't noticed you yet.
Okay. Well, if they haven't noticed me yet, I'm gonna try and remain quiet just so that we can kind of move past them, hopefully, without kicking up any more crazy. And I'll turn to the other two and kind of motion for them to be as quiet as they can be.
So you're heading south then?
Yep, I'm gonna head south and try and do it stealthily.
Roll me a stealth check.
Yes, sir.
Just Lionel or all of us?
Well, I'm heading south. I don't know if you guys are gonna follow after me or not.
Then just one.
Could have been worse. Got above a 5. It could have been worse.
And it's just gum on your hammer.
The gum on my hammer is sticky and stuck.
Does anybody here speak gnome-ish?
I unfortunately do not. I speak quite a few different languages. I do not speak Gnomish.
No.
Same.
Awesome. Gibberish is shouted at you, immediately followed by "Who goes there?" as both of the gnomes call out in rapid succession, one in what you figured to be gnomish, and the other one in common. Who goes there?
Lionel, just a friend that Joybell sent to go talk with Dabbledob and Fibblestib about what's going on in here and trying to help you guys solve your problems.
That sounds like something a shape changer would say. How do we know you ain't one of them shape changers?
Because I don't have any idea what the fuck's going on here.
Well, it sounds like something a shape changer would say.
Oh, fucker, you're gonna tell me everything I say is what a shape changer would say.
Sounds like something a shape changer would say. The female kind of smacks the other one, the male, upside the back of the head. Pog, stop it. Can you prove to us that you're not a shape changer?
I mean, how about do you want me to do that? I mean, I can't turn into you if that's what you're asking.
Prove it.
I will stare right at her and just concentrate really hard and go, and just be like straining and then be like, no, nothing. See?
Can you roll me a persuasion check?
I can't. God, it's so stupid.
The best persuasion.
Swear
See,
to
nothing.
God. Nope.
Lionel.
About the level of what I would expect.
She's not buying it.
Because he just
You gotta,
thinks this is
you gotta
dumb.
strain harder, man.
Nope.
Strain harder.
God damn. He's changing colors. Look at him. He's changing colors.
No
He's-
shit. I'm getting frustrated.
That's like his pooping face.
Definitely a shape changer. We got orders to attack anybody who says that they're
No,
a shape
no, no, no,
changer.
no, no, no. No, not a shape changer.
Prove it. Roll me another persuasion check. Actually, I'll give you whichever one is higher for you, and I'm sure none of them are deception, intimidation, or persuasion.
I'm going with the one that's higher.
There we go.
I am not a fucking shape changer.
Good. But you are, though.
As he just yells that at them.
So the male gnome kind of like jumps a little bit and fumbles with his spear and is like, "Ooh." But the female keeps her composure and kind of squints at you and says, I don't know. It looks like he went back to normal. All right. Y'all can pass.
Lionel regains some of his composure and just mutters underneath his breath. Fuckers calling me a shape changer. That's not what I am at all. My grandmother would be fucking pissed getting called that. And just goes through.
But if you guys go shape changing, we're going to poke you.
Lionel keeps in the back of his head. Got it. No shifting allowed.
Is your shift a magical effect?
No, it's natural.
Okay.
At least I'm pretty sure it is.
Shifters are pretty cool.
He's born with it.
I am.
All right. Well, welcome to the rope bridge.
Oh, God, we're going to have to cross this thing.
That you are.
Yes. It's it's called the rope bridge. It's quite a fancy little piece of architectural wonder. You know, it's gets from A to B across a distance where there's no support.
So this bridge is soaked through. It's about 35 feet long, firmly anchored about 20 feet up above the water. It sags so much in the center, though, that it's probably only about 15 feet above the water.
Jeez.
Traveling across is considered difficult terrain.
Okay, yeah. All right. Lionel will slowly make his way across, making sure to properly place his footing as best as he can.
You all can cross, no problems.
Okay.
Just you all take your time, take your turns, and make the cross, no issues. But Lionel, a
Mhm.
low whirring sound reaches your ears as you make your way across, and before you, up a small flight of stairs, are two spinning blade contraptions. The one closest to you, the northernmost one, the one that you can see,
Mhm.
is spinning in a clockwise direction. And as you round the corner a little bit, you catch the other one spinning in a counterclockwise direction.
Oh, the arms she warned us about.
Fact. Arms she warned you about.
Thorn
Okay.
might be a little disappointed that they're not actually arms.
Wouldn't that be morbid?
Just
A
a
little bit.
little.
Especially whirring like that.
I think Lionel will kind of stop at the entrance to this and watch these rotating arms a little bit first and see kind of what the timing is on their gears going around to make like a full revolution on both of them so he can time out better when to move through it.
They move too fast for you to cover the
Shit.
15 feet that it would take in order to cross.
Get through. Okay. Not much I know. Okay. Well, he will then, seeing what he has seen, he will try his best to dodge them as was instructed, to dodge the arms. That is what she said, didn't she, if I remember correctly?
She said, look out for the arms,
Right.
not say dodge them.
Are they tall? Like, do they go all the way up? Yes.
They do.
So no overs and no unders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peering around Lionel, does it seem like there's any kind of button anywhere for them? Or like levers on the wall?
Only a perception check.
Terrible.
What is your passive perception? All right. On the far wall, about here, you see a wooden handle or a wooden lever that is currently in the down position.
Well, one of us makes it through. There's a thing. There's a lever.
Yeah, I see it. All right. God damn it, this might hurt. So I will. So what do I need to do to try and move through these? I guess is my question.
Give me a dex save.
Okay. I will go ahead and try to move through them as best I can, dodging the arms as best as I can, or trying to avoid them. Okay.
You take 9 points of slashing damage.
Wow.
Youch. Thanks for jumping through the blades for us.
Yeah. Do I make it across though?
Yes.
Once I'm over here, I will go ahead and flip the lever into the other position.
Everyone
The,
blows up.
the blades, having lost their magical energies, slowly come to a halt.
Well, it was quite a good process there. You just maybe the form was off a little bit. You got nicked, but if you want to try again on the way out, I'm sure we could flip the switch back for
Nope.
you. You could try.
Don't need the practice.
I will be right back.
I'll kind of give him a little bit of a pat, on the arm. Thorn thinks he did good for someone so big, and I'll put 4 points of healing into him with lay on hands.
Thank
So,
you.
give 4
I
points back.
appreciate it. Thank you. God, even if I had cast like false life on myself and freaking rolled max, it still would have chunked into me. I rolled really well for my deck save too. Should have tried to shoot the lever, I feel.
I mean, I
Alright.
thought about it.
Thought about it too, but then it's like, this will be the most secure way to do it. It's gonna happen anyway, knowing one of our luck.
Well, you all have successfully made it through, and you think you hear some arguing coming from the northern passage.
I will head up and head through here and see just a bunch of stairs.
So you make your way into a workshop. There's rows of benches, alcoves in the wall that hold all kinds of unfinished contraptions and bits of engineering, and two rock gnomes that are arguing kind of fiercely. Uh, but upon your arrival, they stop their argument and say, the one on the left, the male, says, "Well, who do we have here? Looks like we got some people. Let's see what they have to say about the kings." And this gnome will approach you, Lionel.
Okay.
Say there, young man. What do you think of a sanity ray? And the female from behind says, "No, no, no. Ask him about the straight jacket."
I think Lionel looks at both of them very confused and just says, "Straight jacket sounds practical, but a little weird because a jacket is already straight in a sense. Sanity ray just sounds crazy."
No, the kings are crazy. The sanity sounds exactly the opposite of crazy. It sounds sane. Unlike a straitjacket, what are we gonna do to the people who are crazy? Put them in a jacket? What if she just wants to make them hug themselves?
I mean, it would keep them from flailing their arms about and potentially hurting people with weapons.
Does make a valid point.
So would a sanity ray, without having to restrain anybody against their will.
Are you both Fibblestib and Dabbledob by chance?
I am Fibblestib, and I am the smartest engineer here. Uh, Dabbledob crosses her arm and stomps one foot and says, "Smartest of the dung, maybe."
Well, Joybell sent us here to talk to you guys about what's going on exactly with your kings and the troubles that you are having. I'm Lionel, and these are my compatriots, Thorn and Reginald, as I motion to both of them. Please be nice. Thorn looks like a kobold, but she is a very nice person. You freak out, I will have to use Dabbledob's new straitjacket on one of you.
Oh, it hasn't been invented yet. But, point taken. If you're here about our problem is our kings. Korbaz has gone mad. He started spouting on about a shapeshifter that attacked him, and he's locked himself in his room with Nerlki to protect them. He says that he's not coming out until there's proof that the shapeshifter is dead. This has thrown our entire colony into disarray because uh, they approve or disapprove of our inventions that we may uh, help ourselves and do better things. If you would help us search for this shapeshifter, he said he was attacked by a carpet, which is why we think we've all that this is why we all think he's gone insane.
Ah, what about the gnome that's all the way down that way in the, like,
And the stupid
Crows.
machine.
the weird crow's nest crossbow repeater machine? Which, interesting contraption, but weird place for, well, a smart place for a turret, but
Oh, factory? Uh, well, she never really liked anybody, and she says that if it moves, she's gonna kill it.
she certainly tried.
Oh, we are terribly sorry for that. Excellent invention she made. I hope that survived.
Most of it?
Oh, the giant apes always destroying our things.
Well, given the right repairs, it should be in good working order again. We didn't break anything irreparably from what I was able to see.
Fibblestib folds his arms across his chest and kind of puffs out his chest a little bit. His long white goatee kind of protruding. Yes, well, let's be sure that we don't attack any more of our inventions, shall we?
As long as they don't attack first.
She has a point.
As far as arguments go, that one's a fair one. But
I think
are you perhaps keen on trying to talk to the kings, or would you like to just start poking around?
I mean, if we can talk to the kings, that might be best, so then we can actually get details of what happens, so we know what we might actually be looking for.
Well, to be honest, nobody knows what we're looking for. It's a shape changer. I mean, he said it was a rug, but there aren't any rugs. We don't have any more of those. We cut them all up after he said that. Um uh Fibblestib kind of shrugs after that, but proceeds to lead you to the king's bedroom.
Um, as we're walking there, I will say, Reginald, you're probably better to talk to them than I am.
Yes, very well. I will do the speaking with the king.
Reginald does good mouth flaps.
Uh, yes, I suppose I do.
Much better at than me. I had to yell at the last two.
Well, they take you out the western corridor, up some stairs, and up a northern hallway to a locked door, which Fibblestib knocks on, and you hear a startled shout and a little bit of clanging, and a muffled "Help!" before another minor shout. No, you don't need any help. You just need to stay here and be protected. Um, before a little bit louder at this point, a deeper voice responds. If it's the shape changer, you can go away. There are no gnomes here.
They're so smart. Yes, that will definitely work.
Sam Marty.
Yes, hello. My name is Reginald Alexander Fortuneau III. You may have heard of me, or at least of my family name. I have been sent here by Joy Bell to investigate this shape changer business to properly hunt this creature and get it removed. Would you be so kind as to open the door to allow us entry so that we can properly speak?
I will not
Pleasure.
be opening this door for anybody or anything unless it has the head of whatever it is that attacked me. I will not allow anything to happen to my beloved Nurlki.
Well, very well. Understood. That is well. So questions, if you would please, in regards to this assault that was brought upon you. It was noted it was a rug or carpet which attacked you. Did this occur in your chambers? Did it occur out in the common areas? Just trying to get a baseline of where it began so we can try to work from there.
It happened 2 weeks ago in the kitchen.
Kitchen. Okay. All right. Well, that is a good starting point. Now, as far as this assault from the rug, did it come at you from behind? Did it come at you from the front? How did it attempt to make an attack?
I stepped on it and it was like it was stuck to me, and then its teeth were in my leg. It grew 8 eyes, and it lunged upwards and tried to consume me. I was able to bat it away and get away, but it gored me deeply.
Yes, well. Fortunate that you have been able to recover and survive. That is quite an ordeal, admittedly. All right, well, so if it lays in wait and then strikes and begins in the kitchen. All right, well, if there are any other details you can think of that may be useful, that would be most appreciated. Otherwise, I think we have enough of a beginnings to begin the hunt.
If you bring me this creature's head, I will reward you, and I appreciate your assistance.
Well, yes, very well. We will see to it. Once we have, I guess, suppose whatever manner of head it may possess, we will be sure to return with it.
Then be away with you.
So Reginald will go back out away from the door.
The Fibblestib and Dibbledob lead you back into the workshop. Yeet. Yeet. Fibblestib speaks up as you guys return and says, "That was the most sane I've ever heard him. But we've all searched the kitchen already. There doesn't seem to be anything there. I wish I could help. I don't know what else we could do."
Yes, well, at this point in time, all that I can really suggest that we try to do is have everyone stay in their locations as best as possible, because moving about, milling about, gives cause for this thing to maneuver, change, whatever it may be. So staying as stationary as possible will help in our detection and eventual capture and eradication of this thing.
You sound like an expert.
Well, if you've heard of the Fortino name before in regards to monster hunting and other exploits of terrible creatures, well, yes, my family is well known for this sort of thing. I've read many a book on the actions and the types of creatures to be found, so this will be a good application of those skills.
Uh, both Fibblestib and Dibbledob kind of look at each other and shrug. If you say so.
Reginald,
All right. Yes.
does it actually sound like a shape changer or something else? You have the most experience out of all three of us. in
Well,
this.
it's difficult to say. However, I will point out many of the creatures that I know of that are capable of changing their form and shape lack things such as 8 eyes or a large set of jaws, with a few exceptions. But not many of those line up in the way that I would think of them to. So, to that point, I believe we are dealing with some form of mimicry. And at whatever state it may be in now, I can't say. But that may have been looking like a carpet previously, but it likely is long since changed form.
No, I don't think Lionel would know anything about mimics at all.
Sorry that your personal background with them is
Personal
well.
background is screaming at me. So what exactly are we looking for then? Besides
Well,
just where the attack took place.
that is the challenge, you see. But the best way I can describe our search is going to be cautious. We will be very cautious, but at the same time, I might seek the aid and employ of the two of you for certain aggressive actions to root it out. But we'll talk more about that once we head down to the kitchen.
Okay.
Is there any like furniture here in this little like foyer area?
Where you are at is covered in workbenches and tables that are just strewn with miscellaneous engineering items and unfinished inventions.
Perfect. Thorn goes into just like an immediate excitable feral squirrel mode and starts like trying to drop kick and like scratch at all of these benches just to be like, it's this one. Oh, okay, no, it wasn't that one. Oh, I want this one. Ah, ah. And she's just like running around kicking furniture and shit, trying to get something to bite her.
Dibbledob and Fibblestib are both like, I would be terrified if you found it in here. So maybe you should start your search in the caves off to the east.
Yes, Thorn, let's focus our efforts initially in this direction.
It could be anything.
Yes.
It could be me. It could
It
be
could
you.
It could
Oh,
be
there's-
anything.
It could
There's
be
a
that
comforting
rock. And she
thought.
picks up the rock and throws it against the wall. No eyes. It wasn't the rock.
Reginald will kind of begin to maneuver towards the stairwells heading to the east, where he believes will take to the kitchen.
I think Lionel will kind of like get behind Thorn and start to usher her a little bit forward as we continue, trying to keep her away from bashing anything else.
Reginald, would you please roll me a d20 and add your intelligence modifier?
Okay. $12.
So, thinking about it and sort of pseudo mapping it out in your head, right? You know that the kitchen had people in it and that uh, those people were behind a door and that door wasn't open and they seemed relatively calm. So you can probably scratch off the northern part already because if it were up there, they probably would have found it already. Which leaves that location with those weird looking barrel contraptions um, and the room off to the east that had some casks in it right before the little guard spot with those two gnomes that didn't believe you weren't shape changers. So I would go ahead and lower your count of rooms down to 2.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna go ahead and drag you all over to the east as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okie
fine.
doke. Thank you.
Yeet.
So, from where you're at currently, this T right here, the eastern path leads into one of the 2 rooms that you suspect.
Okay. Then will proceed this way and enter this room where I will kind of peer inside looking to see, well, this could be it in here, maybe, perhaps.
This room stinks of alcohol. Uh, there are 4 barrels on the southernmost wall, all 4 of which are tapped with wooden spigots. And then there's 4 more on the northern wall and 4 more on the eastern wall. None of those 8 are tapped.
All right. Well, here is where we will begin our investigation. Thorn, if you would be so kind, would you please go ahead and stab all of those barrels?
All right, go ahead. Why don't you go and poke the bear?
uh, sure. Thorn will walk up to the barrels and start stabbing them.
Which ones do you start stabbing first?
Probably whichever ones are closer to her, so probably the ones in the south.
So those ones are tapped.
Okay.
If you stab the one directly south of you, nothing happens. You move over to the next one. I'm just going to start working through. You tell me
Mhm.
when or if you want to stop. You stab that one and nothing happens. You stab that one and it leaks a purple liquid. It stinks of alcohol.
Thorn will sniff it and then lick it.
It tastes very savory. It is a mushroom wine.
Thorn doesn't know if she likes it or not. She kind of like smacks her lips a little bit and just like thinks about it. She's like, eh. It keeps going.
Ah. Please hold.
Oh. Thorn, what is your AC?
Reginald's master plan has come to fruition.
Using the poor little baby as bait.
I didn't use you as bait. I used you as a vessel,
As bait.
as a weapon. A weapon. You're so psyched up to go fuck everything up. I was like, this is perfect. Focus the energies.
He has a point.
Just like dealing with a child. Let it
I'm
wear
glad it
itself
wasn't
out.
me. That's all I gotta say. I'm glad it wasn't me, finally.
God damn. I'm gonna give myself advantage. Fuck you.
I mean, she doesn't know which one it is.
Alright, so
because God hates me and I rolled double net ones.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Fuck you and your fuck you advantage.
Listen, bitch, I will fuck you up regardless. You understand? I need a moment to recover and think about how this happened.
Hey, that's fine. You
Fine.
take your time.
I'm just glad it's not me.
So, Thorn, you immediately notice as you go to stab this next barrel, the barrel to your left, right? Because you're facing south, so your left would be east. It has a tongue, and its tongue sort of just like slithers out, and it like goes to wrap around you, but it's either not looking or not. It doesn't have good depth perception, but its tongue circles around and it manages to spear itself in its own eye with its own tongue. And it grunts. And it says, "Oh, no hurt. Ow." God, how do I roll max damage on a fucking hurt myself dice?
Yes. It's like stubbing your toe. It's like, you fucking failed and it hurts the worst.
Jesus.
That's even more of a slap in the face. That's like stubbing your toe and then going to lean on the wall to like catch yourself and then like slipping off the wall and busting your ass on the floor. Like that's what that is.
So after that happens, this barrel springs to life. This one right here. Hold on. Let's see if I can remember how to move shit from one layer to another. It grows 2 arms and 2 legs and maybe some more appendages, but the barrel kind of cracks open in half and it's nothing but teeth and this big old purple tongue. And it goes, "No hurt, Bubie, no hurt, Bubie."
I
Booby.
assume at this point, I assume at this point that Reginald, in fact, recognizes that this is a mimic.
Fact.
Okay.
Do they normally talk?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I don't have enough information about them from experiences like this to really know. But the fact that it is conversing with us, perhaps, is a good sign. Maybe we can find a way out of this without having to kill it.
Yes, no kill.
Reginald will kind of take a few steps forward into the room. It was a Bubie, you had said. Is that correct?
Booby.
Yes. Hello, Bubie. My name is Reginald. In this particular cave system you're part of, it appears that the inhabitants here are not too fond of your company.
Delicious snacks.
Yes, I can imagine. They must be quite the feast. Would it be possible for us to find you a new banquet?
Gnomes taste good.
Yes, they do, I'm sure. Thorn, maybe you have more insight on that. I can't say I've ever tasted gnome before, but I have to maybe take your word for it at this point.
Never had
But,
gnome.
yeah.
Only had orc.
No.
And she looks at Booby.
Okay.
Orc good. Kind of tough.
Yes, I believe. It must be.
Lionel,
Booby looks at Thorn and goes, "You are delicious."
oh god.
Thorn looks back and like she is strangely still and she just looks at this mimic. You can try it. Don't recommend it though.
Lionel has moved to kind of block the exit from this room to make sure he can't get out. And with this discussion going on, at the mention of orc tastes good, Lionel just gets that really nasty taste back in his mouth when he bit into it, and he's thinking, "No, it didn't. It tasted like ass."
Different palettes,
was
my
it
friend. Different palettes.
Was it the orc's ass? I guess that's a question. Maybe.
No, it
we
was
have
the
to
rest.
ask.
It was the rest. We had this discussion.
Okay. Just it would seem applicable if it
It would
was
seem
ass and tasted like
appropriate.
it, but-
Recommend you take the offer, friend. Otherwise, your head to the king must go.
Offer? Ooh, no head. It kind of like throws its arms up again. It thought for a second that you were offering yourself to eat. Reginald, would you please roll me a persuasion check?
Sure.
Does he get advantage on that because I'm helping?
Roll it again.
Okay.
Darn helps.
That's a bigger roll. Yeah, that's a bigger roll.
I live, you know, hurt.
Well, that's the idea. Yes, we would prefer to allow you to live elsewhere, away from these gnomes. As delicious as they are, there are plenty of other delicious things out there, I'm sure.
Are there more of you?
Of me personally, I don't believe so. No, not at least in the region, but maybe to the north.
It sort of takes these two giant lumbering steps over to you and flicks its tongue out to taste the air around you. No hurt. I leave.
Yes. To that end, I was wondering perhaps if you may have ahead of a gnome you may have consumed that you could provide us with, such that we could tell the king that you have been slain, and therefore he will not seek you out.
Its hand reaches into its mouth, and you can just like see it reaching down into its own guts, and it like pulls out this. I mean, it's an amorphous blob at this point, but as he like pulls it out, it's actually one of its own fangs from the inside of its belly. And it places it in your hand.
Oh, yes, well, this will do. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh, you taste delicious, it says as it runs its hand down the rest of your arm.
That is good to know. Good to know. I will keep that in mind in my future encounters. Upon your departure, may I suggest that you exit by the waterway and leave, lest any of the gnomes see you and think that perhaps you're about to consume them?
It it sort of just disappears from right in front of you. You see it kind of like streak down very briefly, but it's so quick that it just like is gone for you. Lionel, you see a moth flit by.
As long as the moth doesn't comment that I'm tasty, I'm just gonna let it go because this is weird as fuck.
Something
I've
licks
seen-
the back of your neck.
Oh, nope. Don't like that. Lionel immediately, all of his hair just stands on end, and he gets that look in his eye like he is going to shift, and then controls himself rather. It takes a lot to make sure he doesn't shift, but he's just like, nope. That was interesting. Let's not ever do that again.
At least we
Well.
didn't have to fight it.
If you continue in my presence and companionship, you may be tasked to do similarly unpleasant things with other creatures that are, well, unnatural. So you may have to do similar things again in the future, just as a forewarning, but I'll take that noted under protest.
Next time one of them licks me, I'm gonna bash their skull in.
Well, if you could find them, I suppose. Yes, that is between you and it. Well, should we return to the king with this thing to prove our mettle?
Sure, why not?
So, because it's getting late, I'm going to expedite you all over
Sure.
to
Mhm.
where you need to be.
Sure.
Why is it not pulling up? Just kidding.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yeet.
So, you all make your way back to the king's bedroom. The door is still locked.
Kind of awkwardly still holding this like oozy, like drippy ball of something in my hand, kind of like I don't want to move it because it's disgusting, but I'm just gonna hold it there and pretend that I'm caring about holding it. I'll knock on the door and I'll say, my good king, I believe we've taken care of your issue here. If I have this, I suppose, head of sorts for you.
Do you really?
Please roll a persuasion check. You hear a click, and the door creaks open ever so slightly. Let me see.
He will, Reginald will kind of bring his hand forward with it in his palm, all disgusting as it was, ripped from the creature's innards just moments ago.
The door swings open, and you can see. Oh damn! Korbaz standing there. He's still wearing his jagged stone crown. He's a gnome of considerable height for a gnome. Old, big old red nose and a gray goatee. Behind him, glued to a chair, is who you can only assume to be Nurlky, who also wears an expression of relief underneath that jagged crown. You hear that, Nurlky? It's done. Our worries are over. Yes, that's all fine and well. Now unglue me from this goddamn chair. Korbaz, kind of grumbling, walks over and releases this other gnome from their chair, from their restraints. Nurlky slugs him in the face one good time. Not
I shouldn't say slug, but slaps him. And don't you ever go losing your mind on me again. Korbaz kind of stands there stunned for a second while Nerlki walks up to you. Uh, Reginald, he embraces you at a, waist height. You have no idea what you've saved me from, sir. I'd like to offer you that reward that my counterpart has proffered to you.
Uh, yes, absolutely. We will take that most appreciatively. The services of the Fortunos is always for the good of the people, but in these instances, it does, take a bit of coin to properly be able to dispose of and take care of these particular instances of monsters and creatures unnaturally about.
Neural-Key kind of shrugs and says, I can't say I've ever heard of the Fortino name. We don't get many visitors down here, and we tried to stay away from the outside world as much as possible, cruel as it has been to us. But we'll leave that where it is. And he strides over to the bed and reaches under, pulling out a chest. He pulls out a hat and places it on the bed, and as well as an amulet and a pole. And um, as he stands up, he kind of brushes himself off and scoops the items up before looking at Korbaz and says, "And don't you forget what you promised them." And Korbaz kind of rolls his eyes and pulls a wand out of his belt. And they proffer all 4 items to you. Just for clarity's sake, you have now received a hat of wizardry, a clockwork amulet, a pole of collapsing, and a wand of pyrotechnics. And I'll link all of those here in a second, so that way you can have them.
Fancy.
The people of
Neat.
Nomengard, thank you for your heroism.
Yes, I graciously am proud to be here before you and to have rendered your aid. Should you need to call upon us ever again, simply send a messenger or missive, as it be, to our chapter locally here in Leyland, and we will be dispatched to resolve your issues.
We will keep that in mind for our future endeavors, but I doubt it will be necessary. Needless to say, thank you. Now, if you'll excuse us, our people should be informed that this disaster has passed, and Korbaz should issue an apology. You wouldn't have happened to find the other 2 gnomes that went missing.
Missing gnomes? I don't believe so. Yes, I didn't see anybody or find anyone. As best I can discern, maybe this thing, prior to its dispatching, maybe consumed these 2 individuals.
Poor Orin and Warren. We'll have to do a ceremony for them. But we have much to do. Thank you again for your assistance. Feel free to stay here if you must needs. Otherwise, see you around. With that, both the kings make their way out and down into the workshop. Huzzah!
We did the thing without having to kill the thing. We're definitely seeing that thing again in the future.
Brain power.
Reginald and his good mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Good mouth flaps.
Watch that.
But at least he knows now he has a fancy hat to put on.
Yes, he does have a fancy hat now. Watch the thing come back with class levels next time. I said you tasted good. I want to eat now.
It was funny. The whole quest line with the mimic was kind of like, it makes a suggestion in the adventure guide, like, hey, if you want to make this more interesting, make it be able to talk. And I was just like, I don't know that I could do that justice, but we're gonna give it a go.
It's great. Definitely threw us for a loop.
Leave it to me to have a full-blown conversation debating the finer flavors of consumption with a mimic.
Mine was just at the back thinking, nope, not my place.
Well, that's where we're gonna end it for the night. I apologize, but it's going on 11, and
No
No worries.
I gotta work tomorrow, so you know.
Yeah.